Into our next panel discussion, that's Fireside Chat, Navigating Financial Transformation in an Uncertain World, CFO Insights and Strategies for Success. This session will be moderated by Mr. Raghupati Mishra, President and Country CFO, Liberty Steel Group. Mr. Raghupati Mishra is a seasoned business leader with 25 plus years of experience, excels in strategy, turnarounds, fundraising, and governance. Renowned for restructuring depth, M&A expertise, business transformations, automations, and complex litigation management. With him, we have the panelist, Mr. Arun Kabra, CFO and President, Enterprise Business Times Pro, Mr. Nitin Khanna, CFO, Inorbit Mall India Private Limited, Mr. Dinesh Modi, CFO, Cactus Communication, Mr. Bharat Agrawal, Finance Director, South Asia, and Head of Finance, Diversey.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think we are pretty serious now after the last expense management. And I have seen you twice, sir. So it's quite good to have that. So now we have a pretty wise group of panelists, and I have met them quite a few times before also, except one. And we will be, after this discussion, I think we will be enlightened about finance transformation. The topic today that is given, am I audible to all of you? Yes. Or need to raise my voice? Or moderate it? Whatever it is. This is a fireside chat, except the fire. So that's pretty good about it. Yes, sir? Yeah, that is within. How prophetic. So, Mr. Arun Kabra, Mr. Nitin Khanna, Mr. Dinesh Modi, and Mr. Bharat Agrawal is joining us for today's meeting. And the chat is Navigating Financial Transformation in an Uncertain World. So, what we shall try to do is, first, we will navigate about financial transformation in where? In an uncertain world. So that's what we are going to do. Right, sir? All good to go? Yes. Thank you. So, if we see the last few years, what has done to our finance function and how we have been coping up with it or changing it and all. If you see last 3-4 years around, the way we are functioning as an organizations have changed. And that has come mostly from the global pandemic that was there. Then we are having 2 wars currently, and quite a few political uncertainties are there. So this is changing the way the organization is functioning. So after the pandemic and all, when we resumed operations and all, what was needed for the business was the nimble-footedness, the agility. And 2 of the previous speakers also were mentioning about agility during this thing. So finance team realized that if they do not adapt to these changes, they will become dinosaurs. So, sir, with all summons that is given to finance teams, we have changed. We have adopted technology. We have adapted to these changing things. Whatever new things have been thrown to us, we have put those balls. We have changed with the business. We have supported the business. We are driving the business also, and we are doing pretty well in that. And if you see, the role of finance function itself has changed post this thing. Now we are not the back-end service provider, we are driving business. So that's how it is. And now we should go to our panel about questions, and then we will understand from them how they are doing that. Arun, I'll come to you first. How has the role of the CFO evolved in recent years, particularly concerning the ever-changing landscape of financial transformation?
Okay. So financial transformation, first I would like to understand from all of you, please, if you can raise your hand. If anyone knows about Lotus 123, anyone worked on Lotus 123? Great. So yeah, very few hands. But yes, I mean, so we have seen that era also, where Lotus 123 was used as a spreadsheet. We have seen then Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, then we have seen RPA, then we are now seeing AI. So this financial transformation is more of a context which gets changed every time. So at that point of time, it was like from a manual accounts, we were coming to a spreadsheet. Then we got into these phases. So these things change over a period of time. Financial transformation is happening continuously. And it will continue to happen even from here also. The point is that the expectation change accordingly. So what used to be a critical success factor for a CFO at that point of time was like, you are expert in accounting, you are expert in taxation, you are expert in auditing and audit management, and you are proficient in terms of giving reports, MIS and all that. So that used to be the critical success factor. But now, when those things are taken care by systems, the responsibilities of the CFO also gets changed. Now we have to participate more in the overall strategy. We need to look at that, how you can give a foresight to your own organization, how you can create a shared vision with your own CEO, how you can partner that role, how you can alter the strategies dynamically. So all these things actually comes into place along with the hygiene factor which used to be there earlier. So that is how financial transformation is a continuous process, and it will be evolving. And with that, the role of the CFO will also be continuously evolving. That is what we are facing.
Thank you. If I come to Dinesh with the same questions, please.
Hi. So thanks for inviting me. And very interesting discussions I was listening behind. But it's very dichotomy in a way, because one side we are listening AI and how it's going to change the world. And last session was on the T&E, right? Travel and expense management. So I think I find it very contrasting, because until today, if we have not figured out in our organization T&E automation, it's a big, big shock, right? Like, what are we doing as part of our finance organization? Because this is like day one thing. As we go into the organization, our first job or responsibility is to automate pretty much what is available out there. So I think, probably, personally, I take that way that, we need to really, really change the way the organization is working. And finance needs to be digitally actively working, right? If we are not doing that, that we are probably doing injustice to the job which we are doing. I may have very strong views, but I think I feel very strongly about it, because in AI world, when things are changing, you had ChatGPT Model 2 coming, you had 4 getting launched a couple of months back. Google launched Gemini, and they are competing. Pretty much jobs, all the knowledge worker jobs are at stake, right? I'm not sure if I will have a job tomorrow or not. That is the way things are looking 10 years down the line. And if in those kind of scenarios, first responsibility, which I need to take, is the automation. And, if sitting in a remote location or anywhere, finance cannot run, I think it's a big question mark. While, in my company, I can say that, we are a remote first company. We run pretty much everything remotely. Finance team doesn't go to office. We work from several countries and in India. And so we have done a lot of things on automation. But even today, I still feel like, why some of the processes are not further automated. Why can't, we do more things? So I'm still trying to figure out. But I think that's the messaging probably I have. And I'm not really pointing out here to all of you. But as part of finance, where the businesses are coming into question mark, I think one thing you need to not worry about is the finance, right? Or the
So
processes.
traversing through uncertainties is what you are suggesting, right? Traveling through uncertainties and how to cope
Yeah,
up with
yeah,
it.
exactly. So that's, I think,
Thank you.
is the key.
So, Nitin, I would come to you. Nitin is the CFO of Inorbit malls, and we all knew that all malls were closed after the pandemic and all. And we had been discussing this for the last 2-3 years, how they were managing it and all. So, Nitin, if I come to you after the financial transformation thing is there, what are the challenges that we are facing, and how to overcome the challenges in the what could be implemented and how the challenges could be, and you yourself has faced the challenge, so you can tell us from the horse's mouth. Let's listen. Thank you.
Yeah, so I represent the mall business, and so since he was asking a question with a show of hands, let me ask you, how many of you have gone to malls in the last week? Yeah, thank you. My business is good then. Okay, so as he rightly said, the pandemic was the toughest time for us. We didn't had cash flows for almost like 2 years. There was the first wave, and then there was a corresponding second wave. We opened for a few months, and then again there was a second wave. I won't say it was a blessing in disguise, but it was more of a situation which was thrust on us, and we went from 0 to 100. That's the scale which I would normally talk about regarding the financial transformation. Now, when we talk about financial transformation, it's a mixture of 2-3 steps. One is when we talk about technology, we look at technological transformation. I think there is also a mindset transformation. When you talk about transformation, it's not only automating things. As one of the fellow somebody was talking about, when you replicate the entire process as is, it's actually an automation. I will just add to it that if you're changing the process and then you're automating it, I think it's a transformation. So it's a huge mindset change which comes into being. So let me go to the question, what are the challenges we felt? So first is, I think the talent part. When you are creating a talent for automation, when you are creating a talent for change in mindset, and when you are creating a talent for change in the processes. So first is, the biggest challenge what we felt was, we had people who had legacies. We had people who were new, with new technological mindset. And there were few who were experts in individual fields. So like when we compare Tendulkar and Dhoni, so we had people who were sole players who can work on Excel. You're given a task, they can complete it within a day. And there were players who were good team members, collaborators, and who can lead the teams. I think that was the biggest challenge we felt. I think we spent quite a few time on looking at the organization change. That's how we went through the entire change in the hierarchy, bring in talent, and create a talent pool. I think that helped us in one part. Second was the technology. Choosing which technology you want. A lot of technology, when we say, W, why W, what you want. So it's a big challenge for us. When we sit back, as my co-panelist Dinesh was telling about, I'm still figuring out, what needs to be, tech, or what needs to be automated to the next level. So that's again a biggest challenge. I think how we we sat together, we created a blueprint. The biggest challenge what we are also facing today is the obsolescence of technology. Now, the moment we have a technology, there is another partner who's coming up and giving us, a next set, even this can be automated. So we have X technology. Now, let's talk about expensing. He's talking about, AI-based expenses, how you can, book those expenses just by talking over the phone or, WhatsApp. So that's That's the second biggest challenge.
Technology and marriages are like that only.
Yeah, so that was the
If you
third.
wait a little longer, you will get better. That's what we think.
Yeah, I think the third one is the business case. As the CFOs, we have the cost benefit analysis every time in our mind. So anytime when transformation comes, we look at what is the cost and what is the benefit. And I agree when one of the panelists, when he was talking about, we should not look at cost only in terms of quantum. We should also look at, what are the costs you are saving in terms of time, those things. So I think those were few big challenges which we faced.
Sure, thank you. And I was just exchanging note with him. Before pandemic, they had 4 malls. Now they have almost doubled. They are now 7. So the revenge shopping and all is happening. So things are moving quite great. That's what.
Raise of hands was actually, a good sign.
No, that's what. Before that, for a few years, for a decade or so, it was 4 malls only. Now within next 2.5 years, 3 malls. So I think people are moving quite a lot. Right. So I'd come to you, Bharat. How can CFOs effectively balance risk management and innovation during financial transformation?
So it's a very delicate task.
And particularly in terms of uncertainty within.
Sure. So whatever we have heard since morning, and I'm sure during the day, whatever you guys going to hear, there are 3 themes that we see as the themes of transformation, right? First is digital transformation. We're talking about Gemini. We're talking about GPT 4.0, which is prevailing at this time. Second massive transformation that we're seeing is the green transformation. So I'm sure any part of the boardroom you go, you will hear green sustainability as one of the theme being talked in the room. And the third massive transformation that we're seeing is on the social side of the things, where at a stage you used to say don't work from home, to a point you said you should work from home, and now you're saying you shouldn't work from home. So amidst this 3 massive transformation era that we're seeing, there is a rush to bring a change which makes organization more relevant in today's time. And it's not only finance. I'm sure all the verticals, all the businesses, all the functions in organizations are talking about what can be the better ways of doing work. In this rush of bringing the change, you have innovations happening in every part of the organization. How do you balance the risk with that is a very delicate task, as I said. Few themes, few pointers which I'll leave here in the room. First, start with a comprehensive assessment. So we all finance leads, finance representatives. It is sometimes implied that we do a due diligence of anything that comes on the table, right? Sometimes it is spoken, sometimes it is not spoken. But being part of the room, it is expected that you will highlight a risk in any of the proposal that comes your way. So how do you do a comprehensive risk assessment? Keeping the risk appetite and a tolerance level of your organization in mind is very important, because every organization has a different risk appetite. Every organization has a different maturity levels. Once you do that, have a right structure of a governance in place. You cannot have a very rigid governance structures or a steer co that used to operate in past. As you're talking about creativity, as you're talking about innovation, the steer co also should be agile enough to understand what it takes to be creative. So having a right governance is very important. Invest in technology. So we're talking about a contract management tools. Such tools are really very impressive. It takes away a huge amount of work and time that we used to invest earlier. So those kind of things will help you to find out the risk in the innovation that you're talking about. Have the right set of people, over-communicate, because sometimes we assume innovation is being done, it will result in X output. But when you talk with a larger set of audience, you might find some blind spots in the entire scheme of things. And have a very solid cross-functional collaboration, which is important, because as I said, everyone is working towards it. There may be a case where you find at a later stage that something is being done, which eventually is resulting in a casualty. So those things will help you to balance the risk with the innovation.
Thank you. Arun, I will come to you. Now we have paucity of time, so we'll give 2 minutes each for each of them. In the face of rapid technological advancements, what are the most impactful digital strategies that CFOs can leverage to drive financial transformation within their organization? Digital strategies, basically, what should we adopt?
Right. So in terms of digitization or digital strategy or financial transformation using digitization, the first important part is that we have to come out of this dilemma that we know everything. because the world was fast changing. There are a lot of solutions in terms of technological advancements, and all these solutions are available for you. So instead of actually just thinking that, okay, this can be the best for your organization, hire consultants. They can actually give you a greater insights, and you can do a better selection of the right solution for you. Second thing is that in terms of integrations, because see, most of the organizations are having different systems, whether it is SAP kind of system which is taking care of your financials. On the other side, you would have something for your revenue management. There would be something for your operating management. There would be something for your logistics management. Now, reconciling between these systems become a challenge. And that is where any kind of bot application can help you. The bot can take all the dumps and they can do the reconciliation, and a lot of such tools are available which unnecessarily suck a lot of time of finance team. So these can be immediate plug and play solutions which does not require a detailed ERP implementation. So these should be taken up immediately. And another
Quick
aspect.
turnarounds, for quick turnarounds.
Yes. And
Plug
then,
and play
right,
service.
right. And then another is that on the planning side, I have seen that most of the organizations still using Excel sheets, and then they are doing their planning. And then the planning exercise becomes a task where organizing this, consolidating this, changing it, and then again changing your allocations, again changing everything else, that becomes a task. So if you put a planning tool, a planning implementation software, that can give you an immediate advantage in terms of your MIS as well as planning as well as entire reporting. So these are the suggestions.
Thank you. I will come to you, Dinesh. With the increasing importance of data-driven decision making, what role does data analytics play in guiding success?
So I think data analytics is pretty critical in the current times, especially because ours is an e-commerce business. So earlier, we used to use Excel sheets, and there were limitation in terms of number of data points Excel can have. But on an e-commerce website, if you are running a transaction and from start to end, it can runs into, even one transaction can runs into thousands of data points, like, what point client dropped, why he dropped, what happened, and so on. And if you do such in thousands of such jobs in a month, it can runs into millions. So the traditional tools of Excel and other things probably won't work. What you need is a high-powered tools. We in our org we are using, say, Power BI. Now the beauty of this is that it captures data from the system and gives you a report which is like I can see right now on my phone what's going on as we go along. So there's no concept of reporting the data on a monthly basis or weekly basis. The expectation from the business is that we should be able to see it as it happens. And as most of our businesses are going to go live and more becoming digital, I think that's the way the world is. And the tools are, to a large extent, are automated. They can do predictive analytics. And because of those analytics, you can really know what's going to happen in the future at certain level. So your decision making is much more, I would say, it's not based on some, tukka, aapne kuch guess lagaya and kar diya, but it's more about, how the data is talking about. So I think data analytics is very, very important in the current environment. What's important is to have the right tools in place where you can capture the data, get it into one place, and run some tools and predictives so which can guide you in terms of what decision making needs to happen. I think that's part of our whole, and the good thing is in the market, there are a lot of such tools are available. It's not something we need to reinvent. The idea is just to have the technology backbone built and have the data at your fingertips.
Thank you, Dinesh. Nitin, I would come to you. What are the cultural or organization shifts that is required for financial transformation, if anything is required?
I think the biggest is, as Dinesh was pointing out, use data. Data for decision making. Make life simpler. Don't waste your time on, say, bank reconciliations. There are enough tools available in the system or in the market to
or
do.
for decision making,
Absolutely.
don't
So mind
rely
shift,
on
so
sentiments.
mind shift from creating a data versus analyzing a data. Shift your entire team, towards more into strategy rather than into operations. Operations or a back office operations, you can hire people, you can outsource day-to-day job. There's enough technology available in the system. I think then he was talking about something risk-based. Anything what you are doing, there has to be a very clear strategy. How you are looking at enterprise risk management. Your internal audit should be driven by your ERM program. Today the board is asking data for what is my ESG data, and when we look at last 4 years, what kind of energy emissions we are doing. What is the data which is there in the domain which is outside our normal SAP or ERP? How can we bring APIs to integrate our data and look at holistic decision making? I think these are the cultural shifts which you need to make.
Sure. Thank you, Nitin. So with all of these transformation happening, new technologies coming in and all, you need to also have different kind of talent, right? And you have to keep them also, because talented people fleet around. So how to keep them and what kind of talent do you require? So I'd come to you, Bharat. So in terms of talent acquisition, development and retention, what skills and competencies should future-ready finance teams possess?
So a very relevant question for all of us and our teams here. Uh, Somebody asked me, should human be worried about machine learning? I would say humans shouldn't be worried about machine learning. Humans should be worried about someone who is learning how machine learning works, right? So how to make our team future ready is very important. And some of the themes that I will share here, the first and very important thing is about the digital literacy or data visualization. We haven't spoken about it enough in our curriculum so far, all the finance curriculums that we see. So there is a massive need, right? All your data is going to come on the digital platform. How your teams are future ready in terms of utilizing those data, creating those insights is very important. Second very important thing is going to be around cyber security. So you would be hiring people who know how to handle the big data, how to take care of the assets which is digital, right? Third thing that's going to be very important is how your team are ready to handle the change management, because we in a VUCA, we in a Bani world, everything is going to change in a fraction of a second. So how your teams are agile enough to have that change management mindset is going to be very important. And fourth theme is going to be around customer centricity or business centricity. There have been enough time where we have been focused on numbers. Now a time comes. So in future, there are going to be two set of systems which will operate. One would be a massive shared service centers or back offices. Another would be a business-centric finance teams. So you can be part of either of those. If you're part of the second one, where you are working with the business, having that mindset where you keep customer or business in mind or in the center will be very important. So these four things, Raghupati.
Thank you. So to summarize what the discussions we have, I would also add some perspective into it. If you see what we have learned in the last 4-5 years, kind of, that these kind of uncertainties are going to stay, and we have to develop the skill set to adapt to these. In future also these uncertainties are going to stay. That's how it seems at this point of time. And finance teams have adapted to it. They are doing the things like the back office operations, etc. All the manual works need to be automated. Technology need to be put in place so that teams are more into productive things, strategizing, driving business, and growing business. This is what the finance team should focus. And also you can say, if 30,000 feet above kind of a view of life and all, you need to also do the work-life balance or what else we want to do in life except driving numbers or crunching numbers or doing the things and getting into all these things. So we need to also have control over our own lives and what we want to do in life, and also at the same time do positively more towards business. This is what the finance teams are doing. And definitely that's a given that new technology which are coming to ease the way we do business has to be there. And of course, things will definitely change. And it is continuously changing also, and we are adapting. So we are confident that we will, in future, whatever transformation, uncertainties and all are coming, the finance teams and the CFOs leading them will be able to adapt to it and face it and excel in it. Thank you all. Any questions, please?
Yes, please. Finish.
They are not in a hurry to have lunch. You can have. Please.
It's coming from that side.
You know, as a member of the technology industry, I'll just make a proposition and I just want you all to react. Yeah. I think in forums like this, there is a lot of talk about data analysis, analytics, etc. My personal feel out of running an organization is the more data you have to analyze, the more you need to trust your intuition. Yeah? And while it may sound like a contradiction out there, but I think especially in the finance function, it's very easy to just get carried away by numbers. And one classic example of that is cost benefits, and one of you mentioned cost benefit. Yeah? In most cases, cost benefit gets fitted into the intuition of the person who is driving that cost benefit, often whether it is the cost side, yeah, in terms of the downsides if something doesn't happen, as well as the benefits which would happen. So any of you can react to that.
So you're right. You know, as a finance, first being a chartered accountant and a finance professional, you're bound to think, you know, on the risk side first before you take any first step. I agree with you looking at the pandemic as such. You know, when we look at our hindsight, we 80% are directed through numbers. So we have our historical numbers, we look at predictive sense, and that's how we create our cost benefit analysis. I think the times are changing, and I agree with you. There are times now where we are looking at data with a 60% assurance, and balance 40%. We are looking at our intuitions and our business acumen, you know, along with collaboration with the teams to take a call. So it's not only pure cost benefit, you know, which comes into our decision making. A lot which has been, you know, slowly have gone into intuition as well. Yeah. Want to take?
I think from where he is coming is that when his software is being hired or purchased, the cost benefit, people look. So
No,
I understand that.
no, just want to add.
That's
So
what we are paid for.
Yeah, just want to add, because I happen to also had IT and procurement in my company. So what hat you are wearing at that point in time? If you are wearing the finance hat, you will think like a CFO or finance function. You will look. But if you are doing multiple roles, I think then your mindset changes with the roles which you are playing. I think the decision making cannot just be driven by a finance function, right? At that level, probably you need to wear the hat of a founder or owner and see, does it really make sense for the organization, even if it's a cost. Like you may end up paying employees for certain things, but that's if your agenda or your motive is to keep employees happy, then even if finance would say it's an expense, as an owner or as a founder, you may still choose to do that expense. So I think that what hat you are wearing.
Thank you all.
Thank you for a fantastic panel discussion. And with that,